All is well with everyone. Welcome in, welcome in. We're gonna get started in just a second. Let me, per usual, let me get my things pulled up. Okay. I think we are good. Welcome in, everyone. Happy Thursday. We're gonna be talking about hormonal imbalances again, and we're gonna continue that conversation. Let people get in, get situated, get ready, grab your drinks, grab your snacks, grab a notepad if you please. Let me see. Okay, let me move this out of the way. All right, got my points up so I don't miss anything. So we're gonna be talking about today why you're out of sync and how the hormonal imbalances are silently sabotaging you and your health and your energy. And then we're going to talk about what to do about it and what we're going to tackle far as what is our goal for 2025 for the rest of the year going into 2026 and so on, because all of the habits that I'm teaching you, all of the lifestyle changes and all the choices that I am making you become aware of are your blueprint and your map to a healthy lifestyle that you've been searching for quite a while. A lot of people have sitting here and they're dealing with the issue of following diet culture, or they constantly go back and forth between, okay, 1 minute I want to sit here and I'm going to take care of my body. Oh, it's too hard. It's too difficult. Okay, now I'm going to flop back to my old habits, because if I'm going to sit here and suffer, I might as well suffer through with the snacks that I love, with the foods that I want to consume, and et cetera, right? But in reality, when we are sitting here dealing with a whole body that is full of toxins, a whole body that is not being taken care of, especially as women when we have hormonal imbalances, we are not dealing with the root cause of the issue. This little piece of hair right here is bothering me because it's tucked up under the headband, and I know if I move it, it's going to mess up all the little setup that I have going on. So hold on, let me just move this back. Oh, I just showed the wig cap on, y'all. Me sitting here exposing the wig cap trying to fix this. Okay. No shame in my game, okay? No shame in my game at all. Okay, let me fix this. There we go. Much better. Much better. All right. So, when we're sitting here dealing with the issue of we're not being straight up with ourselves and understanding the fact that your body is not broken, but rather the fact that you are out of sync. You are not being in sync with your body. And so today, this is the reason why we're talking about how you're out of sync and how these hormonal imbalances are silently sabotaging you, and how your health is suffering because of the habits that you have with the foods that you eat, the products that you use, and how your energy is lacking, not because you're not getting enough rest or you're too stressed out, but your energy is lacking because you're lacking nutrition in the food that you consume. And so you are not just sitting here broken, but you are out of sync. You're not lazy. Your body is overwhelmed. You are not too emotional. You're not dealing with PMS, but instead your emotions are coming from your hormonal imbalance, and you're not dealing with that hormonal imbalance. And so since you are not dealing with that hormonal imbalances, you constantly think that this world is telling you that you're lazy, you're not doing enough, that you're too emotional. But in reality, you're just making excuses to not change because you are okay with being put in this box of being unhealthy, or you're okay with being put in this box of what's normal to everybody. Everybody doing the same exact thing, but expecting a different result. When it's not possible for your body to heal and for your body to change if you're not changing the habits that you have, if you're still believing in diet culture, if you're still sitting here doing the exact same thing when it comes to the foods that you eat, the products that you use, you have absolutely no idea how they're poisoning you when it comes to the medications, the prescriptions, how surgeries don't help you. And most importantly, you're not getting to the root cause of, okay, so what can I do to stay and sustain this lifestyle, instead of me sitting here ignoring my body, listening to the signs and the symptoms, and supporting my body every single day. Thank you for the likes. I really appreciate it, guys. Because I remember when I used to wake up and I wouldn't have any energy, that I was super tired. I remember when I was dealing with an overload of inflammation, so my knees were hurting constantly, could not work out, couldn't do any physical activity as a young 5th grader without having knee braces, developed asthma in high school, was dealing with that all the way until the beginning of my 20s. And I was like, there is no way that this is the beginning of my life and how my body is just going to operate naturally all the way until the point where I leave this earth. There is absolutely no way that I'm supposed to sit here at a very young age to deal with the same issues that I'm supposed to be dealing with when I'm 50. And in that moment of me asking the Most High and trying to figure out, okay, so what's going on? Why in the world is my body not giving back to me, but instead feels like I'm suffering and I'm being treated improperly? It's because I was managing the symptoms with prescriptions. I was sitting here dealing with the issue every single day by thinking this is just what I have to deal with as a woman, dealing with PMS, not syncing with my cycle. As I started to truly listen, everything in my life changed. Everything about my lifestyle changed. Everything about the way my body operated changed. Thank you for the follow. I really appreciate it. You have to understand that. Just like it talks about in 1 Corinthians about how our body is a temple and that the Most High gives the Holy Spirit and puts that inside of our body or he allows that, excuse me, let me rephrase that. The fact that our body is a temple and the fact that we are supposed to treat it the same way that we treat the Most High, the Holy Spirit, Himself, His heaven and everything else. And that's how we should view our body, because we only get one body, one temple. But a lot of us sit here and we take that for granted because we think that this is something that we have to suffer through because this is a part of being a woman. This is a part of your body, right? But you're not thinking about the Most High and His design and how He designs everything perfectly. Regardless of what sin has done and how sin has affected life, you have to look at the whole system in a total. He has given us a perfect life, perfect body outside of sin. So why in the world is our body not healing the way that it should be? If we can heal a broken bone, why is your body not healing from the issues that you're having with hormonal imbalances? Why is your body not healing when you're dealing with issues of, okay, now all of a sudden my organs are not working correctly. I've developed diabetes. I have insulin resistance. I have heart disease. I have a high blood pressure. Why is that not healing itself? How can I develop cancer and not heal without chemo, without radiation? That is because you have been blocking the creation that the Most High has given you with the sins that you have when it comes towards food. A lot of y'all emotionally eat. A lot of you do not eat enough fruits from the earth, for vegetables from the earth. You overconsume processed snacks. You overconsume a bunch of toxins. And your stomach is your God. A lot of you don't realize that your gut balance has been off for years on end. So you overconsume and you sit here and wonder why all of a sudden you're having all these cravings. Instead of you ignoring these signs, you need to teach yourself how to recognize the signs to realize that you have been thrown off for years on end. And I know that this is going to hurt a lot of y'all's feelings and y'all are going to be offended. Y'all are going to sit here and be like, well, that's not me. But think about it. You let your cravings rule you and run you every single day. When you're not getting enough sweets in your life because you believe that this is a treat that you deserve and that you have an attitude. Every single month you're dealing with a cycle that is not synced with, and it's feeling like it's turning against you. So you're like, oh my goodness, I hate having the time where I'm bleeding. But not realizing that the entire month you're going through a cycle. It's not just when you're bleeding. You're going through hormonal chaos and wreaking hormonal havoc on your body because there are so many women that believe, and then we fall into the trap of thinking that irregular cycles, mood swings, chronic fatigue, anxiety, unexplained weight gain, and you dealing with all of this PMS that feels like hell, cysts, fibroids, PCOS, and endometriosis is just something that we have to deal with, and that's something that you go through as a woman because you don't realize that this is a part of you mismanaging your cycle. This is a part of you not taking a step back and being like, okay, how did I get here? How in the world was I thrown off from the very first time that I started my cycle? Why in the world am I not being supported through the time that my body is supposed to reset and release? And this is a part of my natural design. It is because we are taught to consume caffeine and do energy drinks because you don't have enough energy because you're sitting here stressed out. But you're not realizing that this puts you in hormonal spikes, hormonal chaos, hormonal stress. You are putting your adrenal glands in burnouts. And then also you're skipping meals to lose weight, right? Because this is a part. You're calorie counting, you're restricting, you're skipping meals. But this not only destabilizes your blood sugar, but it's also going to cause you to be in hormonal chaos, which is going to worsen your issue when it comes to your hormones, your hormonal imbalance. Using products that are endocrine disruptors, like a lot of us do, and we don't realize that they're endocrine disruptors, are causing hormonal chaos because these hormones mimic our natural hormones, the chemicals that we use. They mimic them, and then they build up, and then they cause issues inside of our gut. They cause issues inside of our intestines. They cause issues with our liver because it can no longer filter all these toxins. And you consistently use these products. You think that you need this facial wash even though it has all these chemicals in it because your face is not clear the way that you want it to be, and you know that you need to wash your face, but you're not realizing that you need a natural facial cleanser as well as a moisturizer, and you don't need all these chemicals and all these treatments and these chemical peels. You are sitting here thinking every single month when you're dealing with the pain in your cycle that I have to take a pain pill because this is what's going to get me through it. And if I don't take this pain pill during my cycle, before this cycle, because I was taking them 3 days before, the day that I started, the day after that I started, and then throughout the rest of the cycle, I didn't need them. That was my thought process. But this is just masking the issue at hand that you have, which is an overload of inflammation, which is causing your cycle to be painful. And over time, this is leading to buildup of inflammation, which leads you to having chronic inflammation. Instead of you dealing with the inflammation, you mask it, and this is blocking your healing. Your PMS is not just because you have bad luck or you got the short end of the stick when it comes to you being a woman, but really it's because you are not dealing with the imbalances of total. It's not genetics. It's not because you're sitting here aging and it's just the part of life. You are overwhelmed inside of your body and the organs are under attack and they're giving you signs to let you know you have an overload of inflammation and we cannot deal with the issue that you have because you're not addressing the issue at hand. Your liver is the filter for your toxins, and yet it's overloaded with synthetic hormones, toxins, processed foods, caffeine. And then you wonder why you have estrogen dominance. You're wondering why you have a weight fluctuation and an imbalance in total. Your liver cannot filter out all these things that you do on the daily. It's not possible. And so you're leading yourself down a path of being estrogen dominant, which causes heavy cycles, fibroids, weight gain. It's going to cause the issue of the fact that you're going to have cystic acne. And on top of that, you're not realizing that just because you have a little bit of weight fluctuation is a difference between the stubborn weight gain that you can't get away from around your hips, your thighs, your lower belly. These are signs to let you know that more likely than not, you have a hormonal imbalance. It's not just a part of being a woman. The bloating that you're dealing with every single month, more likely than not, is just not part of just being a woman, okay? And so you have to get into the science of when you have poor liver function, poor liver detoxification, you are going to contribute to a high estrogen level. You're going to contribute to all other reproductive issues from your estrogen being too high, like PCOS and fibroids. And this is literal scientific fact. And so over time of not only not helping your liver out, but you're also damaging your kidneys, your pancreas, and your gut. And so your pancreas is where your blood sugar is supposed to be regulated, right? Your blood sugar is supposed to be supported and it's supposed to produce its natural insulin. And this is where your hormonal signaling comes from. But every time that you skip meals and you don't do it in a correct way of actually fasting, but instead you're just like, oh, I'm just going to skip this meal because I need to lose weight. And oh, I'm going to skip this meal because I know I ate too much last night, and you didn't prepare yourself for this. You are causing not only a fight or flight dominant state to happen inside of your body, but you are also causing, when you're skipping meals, an overload of sugar because you're depending on caffeine because you have no energy, or an overload of sugar because now you're having insulin spike and you're having cravings of sugar or carbs, which is also going to cause an insulin spike. And the pancreas is taking more hits each time that you eat because now you're sitting here super hungry, so then you're over consuming, and now you're sitting here dealing with the issue of now your body's in panic mode, fight or flight mode, so then it's now harboring and holding on to everything because it's like, oh my goodness, she's going to restrict and she's not going to eat. Over time, insulin resistance is going to set in become the norm for your organs. And so then this is not only going to lead you to having prediabetes symptoms, but it's also going to lead you down a path of sitting here throwing off your cycle when it comes to your ovulation. It's also going to cause cravings. It's going to cause fatigue. It's going to cause your PMSing to be worse. And then your cycle overall is going to be worse because PMS is literally a setup to let you know, have you done what you needed to do for this month? So when your cycle hits, you are not going to be sitting here emotional. You're not going to be sitting here fatigued. You're not going to be having with pain. Or are you throwing your body off completely? Have you ever sat here and you wondered why every afternoon you need coffee, you feel like you're going through a crash, that you're having all these cravings, and you're sitting here like, I just really want carbs? This is because you have a blood sugar imbalance. This is because you are sitting here dealing with an imbalance inside of your pancreas. The same thing is happening with your kidneys because your kidneys are also your filter for your blood. We know this. It removes waste. It's also going to help you keep away water retention. But when you are having an issue inside of your kidneys and you're not dealing with that, you are going to have that water retention, which is going to cause bloating. And so that means you're also not getting hydration on a cellular level. When you are not getting hydrated on a cellular level, you do realize cancer thrives in the States. Your cells need water to be flowing the way that they're properly supposed to be throughout your body. So that means blood is not regulated and moving the way that it should be on a normal basis. And you are throwing your body off to the point where now the root cause of your issues is coming from your dehydration, high sodium processed foods, or foods in general. You're drinking energy drinks because you have no energy, because your organs are working overtime to try to compensate. You making your organs work overtime is causing them to, just the way how you feel when you work overtime and you work too much and you're like, oh, I'm tired, I need a break. Your organs don't get a break every day. Your organs don't get any break, because not only do you overconsume and then you go to bed and you haven't stabilized your blood sugar, and so throughout the night your organs are not even getting any rest like they're supposed to do to reset, but instead your organs are trying to work to keep you alive. And so this is the reason why you wake up and you have no energy. It's not because you're not sitting here and you're stressed out and you didn't deal with what you had to deal with yesterday and your job is stressing you out and you just need a vacation. It's because you are literally sitting there all throughout the night trying to stay alive, because your organs have worked overtime all day, every day. And this water retention, the fatigue, the puffiness, the imbalances are all caused because you have not supported the kidneys alone. And this dysregulates your hormones. And then on top of your kidneys, your pancreas and your liver being dysregulated, your gut balance is not the way it's supposed to be. So your digestive tract is going to be off, which is going to further along your hormonal imbalances, because over 70% of your immune system is inside the gut. And so when you have excess hormones, they will be broken down if your gut balance is the way they're supposed to be. But when your gut balance is not where it needs to be, where it's not as high when it comes to the pH where it needs to be and supposed to be, that causes hormonal dysregulation and chaos, because now these hormones are not being broken down. And then you have an overload of meat, processed foods, dairy, and then this constant stress causing a inflammation spike inside the gut. You're sitting here holding on to and harboring this meat and this dairy and these processed snacks because your digestive tract is not flowing and moving as highly as it should be, and for how much you're consuming. Over time, this is going to cause chronic inflammation inside the gut. And guess what chronic inflammation inside the gut looks like? IBS. It looks like you having issues going back and forth to the bathroom, where it's constipation or it's diarrhea. Either way, you're going to have digestive issues. This leads to parasites thriving in this space and being fed every single day, because you eat every single day and you don't use fruits, you don't use vegetables to actually flush your system. And so then now you're sitting here dealing with bloating that's unpredictable, bloating that's happening and you're not even eating. And then your mood swings are all over the place, and you're having irrational feelings, and you're depressed, you're anxious, you're having panic attacks, and you're trying to figure out why. Because your gut and your brain are directly connected. So if your gut is off, your brain is going to be off as well, which is going to completely dysregulate your hormones as well. Just because your gut balance is off does not mean that, oh, it's just my gut and I need to deal with my gut. You have to realize this affects your whole total system. In science, they nickname your gut your second brain, and that's for a reason. So when you are inflamed, this is going to make you more likely anxious, depressed, and feeling disconnected. These symptoms that you are going through are all signals to let you know that you are not dealing with the root cause of the issue, but instead you're managing to make it day by day. Instead of understanding these signs, you're ignoring them. And you don't think that your body needs help because you're too busy mentally trying to figure out how to make it to the next day. And that's just what we're taught to do. Signs that you are out of sync, and signs for you to be looking for if you're sitting here like, okay, well, I don't know what's going on inside my body, I just know something is wrong, or you can't pinpoint exactly what is happening. You should start looking at, are you shaming yourself for being hungry? Are you really connecting with your body and realizing that your body is begging for nourishment when you're hungry? It's not because you're just being big-backed and you're hungry, but rather it's the fact that you are lacking nutrients in the food. So that's the reason why you crave so much food and you're always constantly hungry, and yet you never get full. You wake up tired, but you go to bed and you're like, man, I had all this energy. Why in the world do I want, before I go to bed and not go to bed, all of a sudden I have no energy when I wake up and I have to drink coffee throughout the day. I have crashes throughout the day. Your skin is dull, and you're sitting here like, well, I do all the skincare products and I do all of this and it's still not working, so I'm going to go get a chemical peel. It's not because you need a chemical peel or that your skincare is not working. It's because you don't need all this stuff. You don't need all these chemicals. You don't need to use all these different products and chemical peels. You just need to actually use food as your medicine and allow your skin to reset itself, because your skin is directly connected to let you know, hey, are you inflamed? Hey, have you thrown off your body by not eating enough fruits and vegetables to flush the system? Are you getting hydrated on a cellular level? You dread your cycle every single month, and you're dealing with mood swings and exhaustion and cravings and pain. And this is not normal, but you have been trained to believe that this is something that's normal, that women go through. And so you just take a prescription or you get a surgery to fix all these issues. Fix with air quotes. You're functioning off of coffee every day, and you're sitting here thinking that the crash is midday is just because you're having coffee and that you just need more coffee. But in reality, the crashes that you're dealing with is because you had no energy from the foods that you're eating. Thank you for liking up the live. I really appreciate it. You're having crashes because you are not getting nutrients. It's not because, oh, I just need a nap now, I've worked so hard today. Because when you are eating actual food that gives you nutrients, you won't get the itis after you eat. You are getting the itis because you're not supporting your system. You're functioning off of literally fumes. It's the same way when you don't put gas in your car, but you expect to be able to drive for miles. You can't take a vacation with no gas in your car. That's not possible. It's not possible. Every single month, a lot of women are feeling like they're a different person, or they know that around the time that they're PMSing that this is not their natural essence, and they're trying to figure out why they're so angry and why they're thrown off, and you hate that version of yourself, and it shows up right before your cycle or right before your period, because your whole month is your cycle, but you're not syncing with yourself. You're not eating to actually support the body. And so this is the reason why you're going through these hormonal imbalances and you're suffering the way that you are. But this isn't just oh, this is how I'm feeling physically. We have to look at the spiritual, the emotional, and the energetic connection, because your body isn't the only thing that's out of balance, but you have to understand that emotionally and spiritually you're also out of alignment, because it's all connected. So when you're sitting here dealing with emotional fatigue from the habits that you have when it comes to the foods that you eat or the products that you use, you're normalizing yourself being in survival mode, which is fight or flight mode. You're emotionally numb, which causes exhaustion, because nobody wants to be sitting here walking around like a walking robot every single day. You're feeling like you're lazy and you're not doing enough, but in reality, it's not that you're lazy, but your body is burnt out internally, and it cannot be supported in a burnt out state the way that you have kept it. That you're lazy, but your body is burnt out internally, and it cannot be supported in a burnt out state the way that you have kept it. Spiritually, you're disconnected from your body because you feel like that your body is turning against you and it's not working and you can't trust your body. But in reality, your body has stopped trusting you, because every single month you throw off your system with the foods that you eat, and you've never trained your body how to actually properly crave the correct foods subconsciously, so that consciously you make the right choices, and subconsciously you feel like that your femininity is working against you and that you hate being a woman and this is not what you want to do. But in reality, you're just out of sync with your body. So this is going to cause you to have a spiritual disconnection with your soul, with your actual feminine essence. Your cycle is not a punishment that you have to go through, but it's a rhythm that you need to sync with. It's a map and it's a guide to let you know, have you been doing what you're supposed to do throughout this month, or are you throwing off your system completely? And too many women are sitting here thinking that this is a punishment and not recognizing that it's not a punishment when you do what you're supposed to be doing. It's only a punishment when you mistreat your body all throughout the month. And so instead of you sitting here doing the same thing and expecting a different result and then crying about it later on, praying to God that it goes away, think about how you need to reset and actually adjust to the lifestyle that you are looking for, which is to being healthy and being comfortable. Because you don't need a juice cleanse. You don't need a supplement. You don't need a surgery. You don't need to sit here and do some type of diet of keto or paleo, Weight Watchers, calorie counting and restricting. But you need to understand that you need to fully cleanse your body through using food with fruits and vegetables. You need to actually eat for nourishment in your body so that you can internally reset your organs, your hormones, your energy, and your clarity. You have to realize that your kidneys, your liver, your pancreas, and your gut have been thrown off for years, and it's because of the habits that you have. And you weren't aware of these things because you weren't taught. And that's okay that you weren't aware. It's not a fault against you. But now is the time as an adult for you to start reparenting and reprogramming the habits that you have, because we are too old to be doing the same thing that other generations are doing, and we're seeing the result of those generations, and yet we're still confused of how this is happening inside of our body, and why women as young as teens are now dealing with the issue of now developing insulin resistance and being diagnosed with diabetes. It's because we're not balancing our hormones and syncing with our body the way that we should be. We need to start holding ourselves accountable so that our body can feel safe with ourselves again, and so that we can naturally rebalance ourselves. But we have to use natural rebalancing habits. We can't do what Western medicine is teaching us and allow our body to heal itself naturally. It's not possible. We've been trying to do it for literal generations, and you see it's not working. So instead of you sitting here thinking that this is going to be a momentary thing, and that you're not going to be able to sustain this, and that it's just something that you're going to do right now, and then later on you'll go back to your old habits, realize that you need to walk through this with support, with the knowledge that you have when it comes to educating yourself on actually how to heal your body, and start to really gain the understanding of how to reset and release to balance your body, rather than just managing and making it day by day, but actually learning how to heal. And so I will take any questions that you guys have before I get off. And if you are ready to start actually learning how to use food as your medicine, and you want to look good and you want to feel good before the summertime, and you want to cleanse and you want to detox and use it in an effective way, I do have it's called the cleansing code. I have my cleansing code that has supported me. I have been plant-based for over 4 years now. It supports me every single month with not only detoxing and cleansing, because I do it about once, maybe twice a month, of me doing either a fast or a cleanse or etc. And I break that down in the book, whether you want to do 3 days or 5 days or 7 days or whatever else that you feel. If it's a 24-hour fast, just knowing that you can sync with your body by listening to your body again, but you have to be able to hear those signs and hear those symptoms. You need to get the knowledge and gain the knowledge on, okay, how do I start listening again? Because you have been not listening to your body for years. And so for years, you have been ignoring these signs. And it's not going to just all of a sudden show up one day and be like, oh, okay, I can hear it again. You have to start consciously recognizing the signs, so then subconsciously it becomes a second thought, and you don't have to sit there and try to analyze and assess, but rather your body will actually start craving when you need certain fruits, craving when you need certain vegetables during the time of the month, or when you're ready to eat warm foods, or you need cold foods, or you need a reset and a cleanse or a fast. You'll actually start to feel those things in your body, and you won't have to be sitting here going back and forth to the doctor trying to play this guessing game of going back and forth to who did it and why. So before I get off, what questions do you guys have for me? What questions do you have about either the product or service? If you're looking for my program is a step-by-step guide into living a plant-based lifestyle, showing you how to make your own plant-based meals, how to make your own non-toxic medicine and products, and having workshops to do that, as well as you also gaining access to me throughout that 6-week period for you to have accountability and support in every aspect, so there is no more guessing games, because we're tired of the guessing games. I know I was tired of the guessing games. That's the reason why I spent all that time in 2020 doing my research and understanding how to reset and learning how to actually heal from the space of learning what the Most High wanted for me. So if you are looking for those things and you are ready to actually gain that access to that foolproof system and the strategy that you were looking for, it is linked in my bio. If you want to learn more, if you have any more questions, drop them down below. And if not, I'm going to hop off, and if you have not taken my plant-based quiz, it is linked in my bio. Go check it out. It's free. You can go take that. I have somebody fill that out, so I have to finish their email and send that out to them, because I give plant-based help at all. I mean, all the time. I said all the time, anytime that it's needed. But if I have a product or service that I can refer you to, I'm always going to do that, because it's like I made it for a reason. It's not I'm just doing this just because, but I actually made it for a reason. I don't have a brand because I make it all on my own. That's why I said that I make these non-toxic products, and I show you how to do that as well. In the program, I will go over with people who are like, well, I don't have time to make things, or I'm not really a person that wants to DIY it, but I'd rather purchase it, and you have the funds to do that. I teach you how to do that in my program, because there are people who don't want to make their own products, and that's understandable. There are products for you to be able to use out there, but I don't use them. So I teach you how to make them on your own, because there's going to be a day where we can't just go and buy every single thing unless you are ready to get the mark of the beast. And that's just plain and simple as that. It's literal scripture. And so you need to be able to sustain your own lifestyle before you start going to buy things. There are things that I buy, like I buy my facial cleanser, but I know how to make my own face wash. And so these are skills, these are skill sets that you need to start learning, and this is my expertise of you to be able to do this without the struggle or the guessing game, or sitting here talking about how, like a lot of people like to say, is I tried this natural deodorant and it didn't work and I'm still stinking. A lot of y'all don't realize the reason why the natural deodorant doesn't work, even though a lot of them are a bunch of crap. Now, don't get me wrong, but the natural deodorant is not the problem. The problem is the reason why you stink is because you're internally stinking. There is no natural deodorant that can get rid of the internal stink that you have going on, because it comes out of your pores. And so I was one of those people who, before I went plant-based, tried a natural deodorant that did not work. But my natural deodorant now is a great one. It's just a matter of, are you clean on the inside? That's the real question. So what other questions do you guys have for me before I hop off? If not, if you guys don't have any questions, like I said, I'm gonna go finish out these emails for today. If you are not on my Wellness Wednesday email, my Wellness Wednesday email goes out every single Wednesday. I send out some email of research that I've been doing. I research every single week. Hi, Me. How are you doing? Welcome in. I feel like it's been a minute. Welcome back. Well, you're catching the end of the live, but you know all my lives are posted on YouTube. If you have missed this live and you want to catch the full thing, it will be posted next week. I have the live scheduled for tonight. She already asked that question. Like I said, that's something I teach in my program, because I make my things from scratch. I don't really purchase much. I was like, we talked about this before. I make my own natural products when it comes to my body wash, my face wash, my toothpaste, my mouthwash. I think I already said that. My shampoo, my laundry detergent. It's literally, I teach you step by step with the workshops of how to do this for yourself, as well as obviously templates and many other things, videos, etc., which you all get with the program. So if you want to check that out, it's called the Balanced Body Program. That is linked to my bio. I was about to call it the old one, but that is no longer in session. The Balanced Body Program is the new one that I have crafted and created. And if you are looking for a cleanse for the summertime, you want to get it right, but you don't want to do this diet culture, but you actually want to understand how to get your body right, then the cleansing code is going to help you. That is also linked to my bio. As well. I love to make my own products. Honestly, it is something that I enjoy doing, because not only do I know what's going into my products, but I also can make it smell the way that I want to make it smell. I make my own perfumes and etc. So thank you for liking up the live. I really appreciate it. If you guys don't have any more questions, I am going to hop off and I'm going to go finish some work. I'm not really hungry right now, but I know that I'm gonna get hungry, so I'm gonna figure out what I want to eat before I get hungry, so that I don't get hungry and then I'm like, oh my god, I don't know what to do. Y'all have a great rest of y'all's day. I'm not seeing any questions, so I'm gonna hop off. Subscribe to my YouTube if you haven't. Like the video, and I'll be back Sunday. Sunday. I don't know if I'll be back tomorrow, either tomorrow or Sunday.